Bakematsu Bad Boy or Bucchigire in episode 3 and 4, which I revealed today. Episode 3 is about the revenge on the shogunate, and you normal straits plot line where gathered informations and delete this kind of these people who wanted to eliminate the current shogunate, or aka coup d'etat, which it's boring. Like, this episode is extremely linear and does not have any interesting points going on, rather than making it, like I always say about the anime, like Spike's family, like Birdie Wing at the nearly end, or other anime about the sports, or not about the uh like the I always say this kind of anime needs to have the overarching story if it want to make the anime captivating. About the audience need to have some of the overarching story, if like 1 or 3 episode about the fightings to get something, or villain have the villain starting to plan, starting to uh doing something, rather than distributing freaking sword and these Bakematsu Shinsengumi just like go to purge this henchman who is just using sword, who only eliminates the henchman that is come, which is not really anything interesting. Like, there needs to be some, like, even the Ikebukuro Westgate, Ikebukuro, some of the detective anime where there's also each episode also have the interesting mystery and stuff. Like, this kind of anime is not suitable to be, even if this anime has this theme of like torture, has this theme of like blood, has this theme of like violence, and kind of deep story. But this anime, when it telling the story, it just goes into real linear stuff, which isn't um connect or isn't related to the theme of this adult stuff, which is like the kids anime. And I kind of hate where the the anime just telling the story contrast to the the ideas of it. Is like it is having the political stuff, coup d'etat, um, sex stuff about the people who is having the sex, and being slightly, and dark criminal character, while the story contrasts it. Like Akudama Drive, where it goes on to the story, it has this kind of like, let's go into the story. In Akudama Life, it has like the future kind of dark criminal stuff. Well, the the character and its uh it's it's very dark in the character theme and stuff, and their past, their what they want to do in the future, or its ideas, and it's telling the story in terms of violence, dark criminal town. And there is like it's interesting in its storytelling of Kidoma Drive, of the philosophy of each character. But and in Gurren Lagann or Thunderbird Fantasy, it has this it also telling the story related to its theme of Gurren Lagann also being like robotsy, say going fighting, moving forward themes of fighting the villain alien and stuff is kind of still related to the theme. But when it comes to Bucchigire, it's telling the story really contrasts its theme, and it's made this effect of like really surface level storytelling, and it's like I'm watching a kids anime right now where the idea is really very dark about sex, about the coup d'etat, about the fighting criminal stuff, and it's fucking disappointing. Like when I watch this anime, it feels like it's really not what I expected to be from the episode 1 and 2, where there's a lot of fighting scenes that is like there's a lot of fighting scene of the maybe assassin kill this mystery laid out nicely, and when the episode 3 comes, it's just like falling down. The villain in the episode 3 of like where it just came in the episode 2, where just where fighting between the assassin guild member, which is Sakuya, and this guy who is red hair, red hood guys, who just come and die like easily, and this fucking suck. And so it the tactics, the everything slow down, falling down. I didn't know until this episode I expect too much from Bucchigire. This episode was not that out of scale of the story, but I didn't expect the plain villain of the coup d'etat stuff in the old Japan, and to destroy these people as a Shinsenkami. These kind of coup d'etat stuff about really those badass enemy of Sakuya and Assassin Guild just got killed easily, like what the fuck villain and moment badass scene in episode 1 and 2. We need to pursue to disappear to be normal coup d'etat. A really normal political disagreements. Undercover spy stuff is boring. I don't know, maybe the story will just slowly escalate, but for now, why not use maybe subplot of the character, but what are one of the characters like Okita Soji slowly show her stances as a woman rather than being just in the cover stuff. Like maybe like I wanted to this anime to have quests like Akudama Drive or Thunderbird Fantasy to get together in big quests to do something, maybe just in Castle and Cover, like I said, and like maybe just show the other character. But for now, they show it. I know that the story in the future maybe escalated or something, but for now, it's freaking boring. Bucchigire is freaking boring. I don't know why the My Animalist gave the score of Bucchigire so low. It's boring. It's not related to its theme. It's regret the story without a goal. It's like and not like re-serial, but like it should have some of the explore the character. Why is each character? Explore the character. Why is she's character doing things, or explore the overarching story, explore the villain, or explore its world building rather than like I think the idea of Bucchigire is falling slowly falling down. Like it's interesting at first, but I don't know why it dropped this much. Like I don't understand why. Maybe the studio is just like the idea is just to the point where it does not have anything, but this is just where it does not have anything to think about anymore. But this is just episode 2, boy. It is just episode 2. Why is this have to be why is it falling down this fast? Like the studio does not plan the anime. I don't know, but like original anime have this kind of thing where it's slowly going out of scale the story, and or the studio does not plan there, or it has this kind of problem really, where like for example people may hate what I say, but at the end, nearly end of every original anime like Gurren Lagann, like Akira Drive, it goes out of the scale, and it's weird. It feels like at the end it just go out of the scale and not really be on those sticks onto one ideas at a time, because well, you need to accept that the manga plan, the planning of the manga, the planning of the light novel is probably the easiest way for you to know which work, which is not, because people who did adaptations, the studio who did adaptations, got plan from those manga, from those light novel before, and know which is work, which is not, and read it before, and so did the anime. But this original anime is one, you just like play at first you just did a good anime, really good, but it starts falling down because the plan is not, the studio, Geno Studio especially, is not good at planning long original anime. Studio like Seven Arc, who also did the Extreme Heart. That anime, I say, I already watched to episode 3, is interesting in its idea, and at first the story ideas seem falling down, and this is the point too that about the anime that is original. It has some anime just like seems not to work, but when it's come to animation studio, it's like Code Geass, where the story and the animation as a medium of the anime has slowly has the connected idea, and the story just flow kind of smoothly, connect with its theme and its kind of work, how it uses medium as like telling the story, it is it is good in it's successful in, it failed in planning the anime, but um it's successful in conveying the story of what it is. But in Bucchigire, it fails in the planning stage, where it has in a storytelling stage and planning stage, where the story kind of plan good enough, but failing to tell an interesting story of like, and tell it in really linear way, of like just barely kept connect, barely filter, barely sort ideas of the anime, where it's starting falling down. And I'm not to protect this anime. I think that it will starting to fall down from this point on. There's no helping to this anime anymore, I think. And dispose of the potentially character in Esponaige of like red-headed socialist with fight scene without really any thought put to it is also one of the points about this episode that I think is bad. See, this is the problem with the original anime, where they kill whatever character they want, while the story could be more flexible. The structure is not as clear as in the manga or light novel does. Because well, when it's come to light novel and manga phases, they are having the story more less budget and needs less people to in the planning phase, and it is like not that flexible, yes, but it has the freedom of the author to plan anything and did it, and you know immediately when it's end if it's good or not. and that's why people use this adaptation of them light novel and manga. And while the original anime kind of slowly start falling down, and mostly original anime that work is not that work in the past. In the past, uh, if it were me, I just say that Code Geass and Akudama Drive is this anime is successful example of a successful original anime, which you could say only Code Geass does, but like other than that, I did not see any good original anime for a long time, except maybe Extreme Heart. Like I don't know, but like this episode is to score this anime. I think that this anime, the score is like from the top is outstanding, good, okay, great, so outstanding, great, good, okay, good, okay, so bad and boring, terrible, unwatchable and stuff. And so the score is bad and boring. It is the case of this episode. It is really boring and bad. And episode 4. So the episode 4 of Bucchigire, about the to recap a bit about the fightings between going to retrieve the sword of the using the cats to retrieve the sword, which is just normal stuff again, ended in the episode. There's not foreshadowing or does not hinted why the brother of the character of Ichiban Boshi is the main villain, or am I stupid to not know it? I don't know, but like the problem I have with this anime is that it uses a lot of the convenience, but it would be the fighting scenes or the story extremely linear and boring. But there's in part where there's an interesting depth of character or interesting fighting gimmick, like throwing ball of ink or shooting the Okita Soji character depth, or it would end it as just a positive linear storytelling, so it doesn't have any effect to it, as the story is deep, the story is dark, but the idea of this storytelling is just a really kidsy, really kids, really shonen, really linear type of story, where it does not represent the idea of depth of it, so it does not work. This episode is not bad, but compared to episode 1 and 2 charm of the style of the storytelling, of how the story light mystery or fighting scene, it's just another anime that has its charms in talking about past of Japan and reflect the story history of it. But this episode is not that bad of the episode 1 and 2, so the score of this episode is just so. And so ended the part 3 of episode 3 and 4 of Bucchigire. If in the episode 6 this anime does not get better, I will drop this anime. That's it.